All right, so let's dive into something I think pretty much everyone has felt at some point. That deep, fundamental need for personal space. For a little solitude. It's a feeling that goes way beyond just wanting to be alone for a bit, so let's really get into what it's all about. This quote right here, it just perfectly sets the stage for what we're talking about today. It's this idea that when you finally strip away all the noise from the outside world, you can actually hear what's really going on inside. I mean, come on, I think we all have, right? It's that overwhelming feeling where you just need a moment. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's a whole day, just completely to yourself. So where does that really powerful urge actually come from? Let's unpack it. Okay, so first up, let's look at that feeling itself, that exact moment you hit a wall, when the loudest truth in the room is that you just have absolutely nothing left to give. It's a really specific kind of exhaustion, isn't it? It's not just about being physically tired. No, it's when you feel like you have scraped the bottom of the barrel, used every last bit of energy just to pull yourself forward, and life is still demanding more. It's a point of just total depletion. And that feeling of being completely drained, well, it leads us right to our next point, the absolute need to recharge. And this isn't some luxury, this is a fundamental act of self-preservation. And what's interesting is there's actually a formal term for this, to cloister yourself. Giving it a name like that kind of helps make it feel more legitimate. It shows it's not just you being antisocial, it's a recognized, intentional decision to create some distance from the world. So let's be really clear about what's going on here, because this gets misunderstood all the time. The need for solitude, it isn't necessarily about trying to escape reality. No, it's actually an active search. It's about finding some peace in the middle of all the noise, finding that quiet space where you can finally hear yourself think again. But at its absolute core, it's a boundary. It's you drawing a line and saying, I just don't want to give anymore. Because you feel deep down in your bones that you just can't. It stops feeling like a choice, and it becomes this biological, emotional thing you just have to do. Now, here's where things can get a little tricky in our relationships. This need for space isn't universal, and that creates this sort of unspoken divide between how different people operate. It really is as simple as this. Some of us are just wired to need solitude to recharge our batteries, and some of us aren't. And look, neither way is right or wrong. The most important thing here is self-awareness, knowing what you need and being able to recognize when you've hit your own personal limit. And this is where we make a really important shift from looking inward at ourselves to looking outward at others. Because the goal isn't always to make people understand our need for space. Sometimes it's just about getting them to respect it. Okay, this is a huge one. We tend to think that caring for someone means understanding them completely. So when they pull away, we ask, why? What's wrong? Tell me. But what if a more powerful way to show you care is just acceptance? Respecting their need for space without demanding a whole explanation for it. I mean, think about it with this perfect analogy. If your friend tells you their favorite color is blue, you don't ask for a detailed report on why, you just accept it. If their favorite food is pizza, you don't need to understand the clockwork of their taste buds. You just go, cool, they like pizza. So why should their fundamental need for space be any different? So let's wrap all this up with one final and I think really powerful idea about what it truly means to care about somebody. And there it is. This is the ultimate point, right? Real care isn't about taking someone apart piece by piece until you understand every last gear and spring. It's about loving the whole machine, clockwork and all, and just trusting that they know what they need to do to keep themselves running. So I'll just leave you with that question to think about. When was the last time you really honored that need in yourself without feeling guilty about it? Or when did you grant it to someone you care about, no questions asked? That simple act of respect, well, it might just be the most valuable gift you can give. Thanks for tuning in.